पारमिता हृदय सूत्र। नमः सर्वज्ञाय आर्यावलोकितेश्वर बोधिसत्वो गंभीरायां प्रज्ञा पारमितायां चर्यां चर्माणो व्यवलोकयति स्म। पंचस्कन्धः दाशस्वभाव शून्यान् पश्यति स्म। इहि शारिपुत्र रूपं शून्यता शून्यतैव रूपं रूपान् पृथक् शून्यता शून्यताया न पृथक् रूपम्। यद्रूपं सा शून्यताया शून्यता तद्रूपम्। एवमेव वेदना संज्ञा संस्कार विज्ञानानि च शून्यता। इहं शारिपुत्र सर्वधर्मः शून्यता लक्षणा अनुत्पन्ना अनिरुद्धा अमलान विमला अनुनान परिपूर्णः। तस्मात् शारिपुत्र शून्यतायां न रूपं न वेदना न संज्ञा न संस्कारः न विज्ञानानि। न चक्षुश्रोत्रघ्राण जिह्वा कायमनांसि न रूप शब्दगन्ध रसस्पृष्टव्यधर्मः। न चक्षुर्धातुर्यावन्न मनोधातुः न विद्या न अविद्या न विद्याक्षयो न अविद्याक्षयो यावञ्जरामरणं न जरामरणक्षयो। न दुःखसमुदया निरोधमार्गा न ज्ञानं न प्राप्ति न अप्राप्तिः। तस्मात् शारिपुत्र अत्रातित्वात् बोधिसत्त्वस्य प्रज्ञापारमिताम् आश्रित्य विहरति चित्तावरणः। चित्तावरणनास्तित्वाद् अत्रस्तो विपर्यासातिक्रान्तो निष्ठनिर्वाणः प्राप्तः। त्रयत्वव्यवस्थितः सर्वबुद्धः प्रज्ञापारमिताम् आश्रित्य अनुत्तरां सम्यक् सम्बोधिमभिसम्बुद्धः। तस्मात् ज्ञातव्यं प्रज्ञापारमिता महामन्त्रो महाविद्यामन्त्रो अनुत्तरमन्त्रो असंसममन्त्रः सर्वदुःखप्रशमनः सत्यं मिथ्यत्वात् प्रज्ञापारमिताया मुक्तो मन्त्रः। तद्यथा ॐ गते गते पारगते पारसंगते बोधि स्वाहा। 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 Parasangate bodhi swaha tadyatha om gate gate paragate parasangate bodhi swaha.
So, we insist that this is a place for retreat. It's not a spa. I share the sentiment because I'm sure many of you know the word mindfulness. Nowadays, when people mention the word mindfulness, I cringe a little bit. It has become like a spa, the word mindfulness. So I think we insisting that this is a retreat. This is actually, I really have that, I have a big empathy. Retreat is a very, very important tradition in Buddhadharma, even during the Buddha's time. For instance, there was a tradition of rainy season retreat. Very important. But the essence of the retreat, when we talk about retreat, we always talk about boundary. I think the English word retreat maybe is not doing the justice. In Tibetan we call it tsam. Tsam means boundary. Actually it means boundary. So you create the boundary. Buddhism is so many paradoxes in Buddhism. Just like many of the Indian thoughts and Indian wisdom, you can never really sort of have a fixed idea. You cannot really sort of be sure that this is it. This is the beauty of Indian thinking too. Because ideally, anyway, in Buddhadharma, we have to go beyond boundaryless. In fact, I believe in Vana, there's Amitabha. Amitabha in a cave.
Still getting pain into
Yeah. Amitabha, the word Amitabha also is translated as a sort of boundless light, but it actually refers to boundaryless, no boundary. But in order to reach that beyond boundary, kids like us, we have to somehow go to that beyond boundary with some sort of a boundary. We need toys, we need some sort of references, we need guidance, we need means. So when we talk about a boundary, in Buddhism, the word tsam, retreat, actually the highest boundary, if I may tell you, and this is very important. And actually this time, because this is such a beautiful setting, and it's very intimate, not too many people. I'm always so afraid of hundreds and hundreds of people. I listen to teachings I've given to hundreds of people. Somebody was listening it in their car while they were driving me. And I couldn't understand what I was saying. Not cohesive. But I like this small group. And I want to take this opportunity to experiment also, because I have done this once in Hong Kong. That was quite a big group, so it wasn't that successful, but I want to present this again. Anyway, what I'm going to share is really rooted to classic Buddhist texts. Although some of the means and some of the example or the metaphor that I use will maybe sort of more modern and more easy to understand, simplified. But I will make sure that I don't go astray from the Buddhist sutras and shastras. Because if I do that, then I'd fall into the department of mindfulness, department of spa. So, when we talk about a retreat, as I said, we are talking about boundary. In Buddhism, when we talk about boundary, boundary is like, okay, you have heard, I'm sure some of you have heard, there are Tibetan Lamas do 3 years retreat, or I'm doing a month retreat, or 2 months retreat, or 6 months, or lifelong retreats. There are people, we call it which means there are people who will stay inside the room, and then once they go inside the room, then they will actually they will put the bricks and everything on the door, basically wall it up, should never go out. There are actually a few people, I have known probably more than 500 still doing this kind. Very admirable, I have to say. But anyway, say when we do retreat, let's say a month retreat, usually what we do is we have a boundary, such as I am not going to go out of my fence. I will not speak to more than this and that amount of people, like maybe closest friends or family members or a doctor or a plumber or whatever. I will not read magazines or newspapers. I will not read emails. You know, you can basically create your own discipline. This is something quite important in Buddhism. The teachers usually don't create the discipline. You create the discipline, and then on the first day you sort of take pledge, or you take a vow that this is going to be your discipline. And depending on what kind of, how much time you have, how much experience you have. I mean, there are few people who would not meet anyone, who would not go out of maybe their room. I even know one person in New York City who has done 3 years retreat, in her flat, something like 25th floor. It must be very tough, but you can do that. So we usually create boundaries. We even have markings, and some of them are very elaborated, and usually it's not a good sign, because people who put so much emphasis on these, okay, I'm doing a retreat, boundary, no admission, they end up doing less of a practice, because they put so much emphasis on this outer ritual. But anyway, what I'm trying to get to the point that I'm trying to make is, in Buddhism, the real boundary is between the past thought and the future thought. That is your boundary. Now, if you can do that, you could be in a nightclub, you could be, dancing, crazy. You could be doing all sorts of wheeling, dealing with business or whatever. But there are yogis and yoginis who may not go beyond the boundary of past mind, past thought, and the future thought. Meaning always in the present. Always in the present. Like whatever you are thinking right now, being in this present. For instance, now. You are hearing rustling. Air conditioning. Maybe you are thinking of something of yesterday, tomorrow, whatever it is. Simply knowing that, simply being aware of that, but not really thinking about the past and not really thinking about the future, not judging also. Never judging. You could be thinking something so hideous, or you could be thinking something so wholesome, but just simply aware. That is actually the king of the retreat. Okay, now you might ask, what's the point of doing this? Is the point to become like a vegetable? It feels like that. You have to plan. You have to think. You have to be creative. How can you just watch whatever is happening right now? This thought. Just being aware of. whatever is happening now. What's the point? Now I'm doing a big definition of your place here. What do you think? What's the point of doing this? Why we do that? Then comes the wellness part. Wellness is so important. Outer wellness, inner wellness, secret wellness, and the most secret, inner, most secret wellness is so important. And how do you become not well? How do you get sick? How do you get insane? How do you get unhealthy, basically? The moment you go beyond, outside of the boundary of first thought and the future thought, past mind and the future mind. You see, whatever. Because the moment you judge, moment you think about things, and I'm sure we do this all the time, very sure. Many times, we have expressions like this, isn't it? Drifting, getting worked up, getting entangled, lost in thoughts, daydreaming, all that. Well, they all have a little different meaning, but basically similar. Getting worked up is kind of more ruffled. Daydreaming, kind of like, I guess, more sentimental, more romantic. But nevertheless, it is actually so not healthy. It's not, maybe I shouldn't say not healthy, not being well. Wellness, real wellness is just being in the present. Whatever it is. So I'm hoping that these few days I can manage to convince you that how important being in the present is. And this I know, since many of the teachings such as being in the present are now coming from spas. They also said this thing. They have written books. So you may end up thinking that this is, one of those, new age technique, but no, this technique came from Shakyamuni Buddha 2,500 years ago, from India, from places like Saranath, Rajgir, Vaishali. And this not only was taught, but was practiced, analyzed, discussed. And not only that, this being in the present is taught in many forms, such as ritual, prayers, like what we did. For instance, in Japan, you must know the Japanese tea ceremony. The first time was very good because it was new and all that. But second one was it's very hard to sit like this. Japanese, not trained us. Lack of mindfulness myself. But anyway, you can see the Japanese tea ceremony is all about grabbing hold of present moment, appreciating the present moment, and really it's an exercise to join on this. So, because the tea itself is, I would say sometimes it's disgusting. It's really nice. It's not really, everybody's sort of, after all the ritual, it even tastes good. Because by then you have already, you're already kind of tired, so you really want to drink something. But anyway, you must know, have you been to the Japanese tea ceremony? They're so, very You have to do lots of things, and then the mixing of the tea, the color, and then the way you hold it. But all this is a technique designed to keep you in the present. Similarly, Japanese akibana, the flower arrangement, balancing the flower by the heaven, earth, and whatever this, man, heaven, earth, I don't know. They have these akibana. Again, I would say this is a technique to put you in the present. But you know, in Japan, they are losing this. Not the technique. Most of the youngsters, they don't even know this is to do with Buddhism. This is a Buddhist technique. They don't know. They think it is some sort of a art. In fact, many Japanese even don't know Zen Buddhism. Zen is a Buddhist practice. Zen is, I believe, is a derived word, Chinese word Chan, and the Chinese word Chan is actually coming from the Sanskrit word Dhyan. And this, so it's really, technique is this. Now, and then they have Kyudo, archery. The whole procedure, the whole, like practice of archery. The Dutch technique. I want to tell you this because the moment I tell you the word meditation, I know what you are thinking. You are thinking about a meditation cushion. You are thinking about sitting straight, isn't it? You can never imagine, oh, I could actually do a chapati meditation, like chapati making. You could do this from the time of, the mixing of the flour, I don't know, kneading the, creating all the dough. Wow, just like the Japanese tea ceremony, you can make it into something very, probably in India you should make it chaotic. But chaotic is not necessarily a bad thing. This is something you need to know. Not everything about Buddhism has to be so silent, so serious, so meticulous, so what do you call it, like this, like that, Japanese way. The Indian way is fantastic. Flowers everywhere, sindurs everywhere. They will say that in itself has its beauty. The point is, you try to grab and maintain the present moment. You could do that. So this is something that I also want to share, that we should really go beyond thinking the meditation. Meditation, the moment we talk about meditation, most of the time people think in terms of sitting straight, isn't it? Well, I have to say, sitting straight does have some benefit, I should say, because chances of you being in the present, in the hammock with a margarita, a little difficult. But chances of, hard cushion, sitting straight, all that. Because these techniques, anyway, after all, these techniques have passed down from the, great yogis and the practitioners of the past. These are tested. And there are so many of this. You are supposed to do meditation under the tree. We actually do have some kind of tree here. You are supposed to do practice in the forest. We have metaphorically Vana. You are supposed to do meditation you can meditate in front of a river. All has its own effect. Like a river, I think, brings sadness. And in Buddhism, we say the genuine heart of the sadness is priceless. It makes you makes you fuller human. As a human, you should always have a little bit of sadness. Then you become sort of more complete human. There are also traditions like going to cemeteries and meditating in the cemeteries. But one thing I want you to know is that you can, as long as you are in the present, you can practice the meditation anywhere, in the kitchen, in the shower, while driving. And this is important. Otherwise, spiritual path and your day-to-day life will never mingle. Okay, maybe half an hour in the morning you meditate, and then the rest of the 23 hours and a half with all this chaos, not going to do much. So being able to relate, how should I say, relate to moment by moment life. And really, this is a big thing in Buddhism. I mean, so much so that if I just spill this out a little bit, no technique is ever rejected. If you go into the deeper, more profound, more really serious business of Tantra, all emotions are also used as all emotions are used as a tool, as a attitude. Nothing is rejected. Oh yes. Did you prepare some basho? We can make it tomorrow. We were discussing about this. I want to tell you this because, poetry, for instance, you need to think, right? One thing, okay, you need to sort of think, you need to sort of be creative. But, for instance, the practice of haiku in the Zen tradition, the Japanese Buddhism. And by the way, also in Tibetan there is so much practice of that, but it's sort of dwindling now, it's fading. But the haiku is an incredible method. Haiku, I mean, I'm not a haiku master, but I love people like Basho. It's basically noticing. You could be noticing, for instance, you can notice 3 things what you see, 3 things what you hear, 3 things what you taste, 3 things what you feel, now, this very moment. And jot it down. And you can actually create a beautiful, short, precise, to the point haiku of this moment. Because haiku really expresses this moment. So I think I've said enough for the benefit of being in the present. Now, okay. The benefit of being in the present. I was talking about wellness, complete wellness. So, complete wellness, if I put it from another angle, is when you actually realize the truth. And by the way, today is, for Buddhists, it's a very special day. There are 4 special days in 1 year. And the first of the 4 special days happened to be today. It's called Miracle Day. And if you read the sutras or the shastras, you will not find too many mentioning of Buddha's miracle power. I mean, miracles power such as, like flying, manifesting, food, drinks, curing people. You don't actually hear a lot. In fact, you hear the opposite. For instance, a very famous story about a mother whose child died, going to the Buddha, asking for help to, make the dead child to live again. And Buddha asking her to look for, I think it's sesame seed or mustard seed from 7 family who never had an experience of death. And of course, she couldn't even find 1, let alone 7. So this is one classic example. Always about the truth. So when the Buddhists talk about the miracle of the Buddha, it is always attributed to the miracle, the most miraculous, most powerful thing that Buddha did or Buddha realized is the realization of the truth, such as the Four Noble Truths. That is the power. In fact, Buddha, and I have to say, even during my childhood, I remember very clearly. My grandfather used to have this very mischievous attendant who somehow had this strange sort of, I don't know, power maybe is not the right word. He has a sort of a technique, I don't know where he learned or where he got it from, and this I have seen with my own eyes. We eat rice in the morning, and sometimes he would make the rice, flatten the rice, like the cooked rice, like a chapati, and put it on the fire to sort of roast. And when one side is roasted, he's practicing. And then, he's always busy and practicing a little bit. And then he will, when one side is finished, he will go like this. And then actually the rice will flip. I've seen this. Probably I'm a child, so he tricked me. I don't know. But I've seen this several times because I always ask him to do it. And so many things he does. For instance, the monks. This is the funny one. You should hear this one. Monks, the ordained monks, their robe is not like this. Their robe is like a hollow. How should I do it? Like this? It's round. It's stitched around. Also, they wear it like that. So it's stitched around like that. Right? And my grandfather is very strict. He will, when he wants his attendants to come, there will be noise like that, and they have to, just quickly go in. This is so funny. And this man, this mischievous man, the two attendants. The other, this mischievous man is not a monk. The monk is the main attendant. And there's a small room where they sleep, and in the middle is a pillar. It's a very, very funky room, isn't it? In the middle, just to hold the roof right there. It's a pillar, very bad pillar. And while the monk is sleeping, somehow this mischievous monk put the rope outside the pillar, not taking out the roof, of course not. So that the pillar is inside, and the rope is like that. And then my grandfather, and the monk got up, and his rope, he couldn't take it out from the pillar, and he was so angry. And of course, he got a lot of scoldings for being late, because he was wearing only a short or something like that. But anyway, what I want to tell you is, my grandfather used to scold this man a lot. He is never supposed to do this. I mean, when I beg him to flip the, then he does. One time, he actually caught a snake. He pretends to chant the mantra. I don't know whether even he chants. And he will blow it on his hand, and then he held a snake. That was really scary. Only when I asked, sometimes behind without my grandfather knowing he does this, but he gets so much scoldings. And I also heard many of the scoldings from my grandfather saying that you're never supposed to do this. This is nothing special. Who do you think you are? You are supposed to, learn the Four Noble Truths. This is the real power. This kind of shamanistic power, you will only ruin other people, and you will ruin yourself, etc., etc. So till, my lifetime, the Buddhists never really cherished this kind of power, actually. The truth is the most important. And when we talk about the truth, actually we are not talking about any exotic truth, which we have taught this in Delhi. We are not talking about anything that is exotic, divine, supernatural. We are talking about very simple truth, such as all compounded things are impermanent, such as all thoughts, whatever thoughts, defilements, whatever discursive thoughts we have, because of its uncertainty, it takes you to anxiety, suffering, pain. I don't need to give you logic to prove that. All compounded things are impermanent. You know that. Nothing is permanent. You know that. And all your thoughts, whatever you are having are thought. Whatever your ideas, whatever principles you have, it's never ever certain. It's going to change. We don't know what's next. We can assume. We can assume that tonight maybe tomorrow we will have a Holi. We can assume that we will have a very swell, holy celebration. Only assumption. We can never be certain. So there's always an anxiety. That's the second truth. Very simple, isn't it? But maybe the third one, or even the third one actually is very, very simple. To put it in a very simple language, the third truth is, what do you project is only your projection. It's not the real thing. And there's nothing other than what you project. Emptiness, shunyata. See, it's very, very, very simple. And I need to tell you this because this makes what we are going to discuss not a spa mindfulness. So if you ask me, how come if this is so simple, why are we not understanding it? Why are we not understanding it? Because of habit. Habitual patterns are what stops facing the truth. It's all the habitual patterns we have, coming all the way from the ancestors, nations, culture, books, teachers, opinions, and democratic opinions, individual opinions, all these opinions, they make your habit so strong. So now you know why. So okay, what you want to know? What do you need? You need to know the truth. Very simple. Huh? Now what is stopping you? Habit. Okay, who is feeding this habit? So we need to know this is a strategy. This is almost like a war. We know the culprit is the habit. So now we need to do something about this habit. So who is feeding this habit? We need to sort of plan economic embargo, you understand, to starve this habit, to uproot this habit, to weaken this habit, to derail this habit, to discontinue, I don't know, to disorganize this organized habitual patterns. This is what you need to do. So who is feeding this habit? And I don't need to use logic, you can experience this. Never being able to be in the present. Try now. Always thinking about something. Never being able to know what you are thinking or what you are doing. Judgment. Basically, drifting, getting worked up. This is the food for habit. Whatever you are thinking right now, not knowing that. And really, you have to come to this. Whatever you are, I'm not telling you have to think something wholesome, have I? I haven't told you this. I haven't told you, oh, you should really think about something really good, you should not think about bad things. I am not telling you this. What am I saying is, whatever you are thinking, just have to know. That's it. As simple as that. What's the benefit of this? Benefit of just knowing whatever is happening will not feed the habitual pattern. It will not drive, it will not lead to other thoughts. Because more thoughts means more actions. More actions means you are planting the seed really well with the fertilizers, plowings, the fencing and everything. And then the result, the anxiety, of course, guaranteed to grow, harvest. That's called karma. So do you really want to work with the karma? Do you really want to? Probably this is one difference between so-called Hinduism and Buddhism. Because in Buddhism, karma is manipulatable. Now, this very moment, how? be in the present. Because the moment you are in the present and not judging, not drifting, you are burning the seed of the Vana. Of course, at the moment you are not being able to, okay, you may be able to be in the present for a moment, but next moment, because of your strong habit of drifting, you will go off course. But that's why you need to practice. And practice, I told you this morning, you should not limit your practice into doing it on meditation cushion. Everything. A long time ago, there was this French movie called Diva. I don't know whether any of you have seen. It's just such a beautiful film. And there's one really nice scene, which I cannot forget. This guy is chopping onion, and he has designed a big goggle he wears. And he wears this goggle while he's chopping the onion, because he said he's practicing Zen. But the onion has some sort of, what do you call it? It makes you, have tears. So he said it sort of bothers him, so he wears this big goggle while he's chopping the onion. Cooking, talking, argument, heated argument with somebody. In the middle of the heated argument with somebody, throw in being in the present, just for once or twice. It will do amazing job. Because it's like a train is coming, and then you, sort of unhook one hook, and then it will become wobbly. What do you want? We want our habit, the chain of thoughts, to become wobbly. That's what the Buddhists want. The ordinary samsaric beings want the chain of the thoughts organized and speedy and organized. They're very difficult. But anyway, I talk too much. I want you to experiment this a little bit. Okay. Don't sit. Just however you are sitting right now, scratching, yawning, whatever. But be in the present. Have you done it? It takes just like what? Quarter of a second. You know what I mean? No need to do, okay, I'm going to do. No need to do that. That's already, you wasted 3 seconds. just do whatever you're doing or thinking. Like for instance, I was just thinking to ask Veer, tell me the timetable, and I was kind of happy. Towards the end, I knew that's what I was thinking. You got it? That was my example. And I noticed that my finger was like this. And I was happy with that. And you should be happy also. Whatever you are thinking, just knowing that, believe me, this is the mother of the wisdom. Why? You can see yourself. Moment you are judging, you have become numb. Numb. When you are daydreaming, when you are totally worked up, your mouth open, saliva drooling, probably one fly even has a time to go in and come out. You get so stuck, fixated. That very small, short moment, you are sober. You are completely aware. And in the process of doing this, if you think, am I doing this? Am I doing this? Is that right? Have I done it? Then just know that that's what you are doing. Just know that I'm now asking, am I doing it? Have I done it? This simple. Simplicity is the only challenge of Buddhism. It's the biggest challenge of Buddhadharma. It's too simple. People don't like it. People say they want something simple, but it's a lie. I've come to a conclusion that they don't mean it. They actually want totalitarian, dictatorial shit. They want things like don't eat chicken, don't do this, wear this, don't wear this. They love it. They call it direction. You need, isn't it? And me too. I like this also. This thing is so difficult. You understand? So difficult to trust. Am I doing it? Am I doing it? Am I doing it? Now, if you come to a meditation master, and if the meditation master is good, and if you say, I've been doing this for a year or 2 years, and all I managed to do is ask myself, am I doing this? All I managed to do is feeling guilty for not doing it. A good Buddhist master would say, fantastic. You are practicing. At last you have become a spiritual person. In fact, like my teachers, they are more happy that I worry and I feel guilty that I'm not practicing Dharma. Then I say, I have done this and this much of Dharma. I'm not so happy. And it makes sense, because when you worry, when you feel guilty that you are not in the present, it's the most beautiful guilt. It's the best guilt. You should have this guilt. You should feel bad for not being in the present. Because the more you feel bad, the more you feel frustrated, means that you are going to do it, or you have already done it actually. Because actually it means you are distracted. Actually, I'm now going to ask you, how is the time? I'm okay?
Yes, you can take a break.
Really? Okay, let's take a break. I think break is important. Means are very tricky. Means, technique, how is so tricky. Risky also. But no choice. You have to have it. Every time you take a path, you are taking notice. Especially if the means or the technique is beautiful, wow, so dangerous. Also, if the means and the technique make sense, even more dangerous, because they make sense. Because making sense is so dangerous. They can hook you, like they can bind you, they can imprison you for generations. Maybe you should bring a Taoist master in the future. A Tao, I think Chinese, like Taoism is quite good, I don't know much, but I read it. It's so good. Really, yes, means so difficult. For instance, like the word nirvana. We have to use this word nirvana. And we do this consciously sometimes. And we make it into something so, colorful. Colorful in different regions, In China, nirvana is very lofty, swimming pools, swans, water buffalo, stuff like that. But it's really different. The Tibetans, they've never seen lotus, so they love the ideas of lotus. So they have things like lotuses, nirvana. Concepts, words, not only concepts, but the words, especially the words nirvana, samsara, they are means, right? They are language. And they're so risky to use, but we have no choice. The nirvana, the real nirvana, is when you can be in the present all the time. And I'm sure many of you think, how can we do this? How can we ever cook an omelette being in the present? It's almost unfathomable, isn't it, for you? How can I write a story? In order to write a story, I basically have to get here, there, get engaged, get lost into the world of story, and then sort of write it down. It's not, you just cannot fathom that you can do it. Why? Because you just never, you don't have the habit of being in the present. You have the habit of not being in the present. So that's why. Simple, very simple. This is the present state. This is the past or the future. You always go here or there. That's why you just cannot fathom to be here all the time. You almost think that's like a state of being vegetable or a coma or a completely, what do you call it? Comatose. But completely like frozen. No, not at all. Being in the present makes you the most generous. Why? What is generosity? Generosity is when you don't have a clinging. No clinging, stingy, clinging. When you are in the present, how can you be clinging or therefore how can you have the stinginess? The more you invest on the being present, you may not necessarily open your, treasure box and invest because that's not the real generosity. Real generosity is when you have no clinging, when you have no fixation, when you don't have that kind of stinginess. That's the real generosity, and that achieves through being in the present. What's the next one? Discipline. What is a discipline? Usually the word discipline is almost torturesome. word, just the moment you hear the word discipline, it's like anything to do with the routine. We don't like this. So the actually Buddhists have a very interesting definition of discipline. Actually, it's the Sanskrit word shila. Shil, right? What's the meaning of shila? Shil. You know any Sanskrit expert here? Okay, I'll just pretend I am. Shila has the connotation of simba, cooling and not not stressed. Not stressed. Our discipline, so-called the discipline that we usually think, the discipline like, I need you to go to the gym, need you to do mindfulness. Most of this mindfulness, they cause constipation because they're always worried about, getting distracted. The essence of discipline is, no stress. That's what it should be. So how do you achieve no stress? Being in the present. How else? When you are in the present, you are like that baby, like this child, totally stress-free. I'm just running through all the classic Buddhist virtues. Generosity, discipline. What's next? Patience, tolerance. What is tolerance? Mitro as well. Non-aggression. When you have non-aggression, that is tolerance. That you should write this down because that's a really that's what it means by Buddhists when the Buddhists talk about non-violence. And that really covers a lot, by the way. Because if you are, let's say, if you are very, very non-violent, I think, not understanding this word, patience, is one of the main reasons why there is things like political correctness. And when there's a lot of this political correctness, there's a lot of liberals, and liberals ends up producing people like Trump. I'm trying to provoke here. It's, it's non-aggression. Even if some of us Buddhists and Jain, whoever, we are, like our so-called non-violence can be quite violent because there's some sort of aggression, non-violence, and looking down at the violent people. There's any kind of idea is actually a violence, kind of. I don't know, gender rights. All those, good sounding values, animal rights, dog rights, cat rights. How come there's not so much movement on cats? They don't treat badly, they don't treat cats badly. I saw some cats really badly treated. Anyway, there's some sort of balance, So tolerance to everything is the patience. How do you achieve that? Not going to the past, not going to the future, but being in the present is the tolerance. So on and so forth. What is compassion? Okay. Compassion is a very big, hashtag selling point of Buddhism. But what is the quintessence of compassion? Compassion is not as, oh, that poor guy, sympathy, that, like teary, weary, touchy feeling. No. I mean, that you can call it compassion, but not the real. The real compassion is when you are in the present. What is happening when you are in the present? Because you are not judging. When you are not judging, to put your feet in someone else's shoes is so important, so easy. So easy. Being in the present is the core essence of compassion. It's love, it's joy. Basically, there is not a single reason why you should not do this practice of not being, this practice of being in the present. It's a tragic if you don't do it. You don't have to buy it, you don't have to download it. You have it. All you need, you don't need to be qualified, you don't need to be a special person, you don't need to, all you need is mind, and I believe you have it. Because you are not a pebble, you are not a stone, you are not a piece of wood, you have mind. If you have mind, you must be distracted. You must go to the past and you must go to the future if you have mind. And if your mind is not tamed, of course. If that's the case, then, yes, being in the present. Again, let's go back. What is being in the present? Just do it now. Without sitting properly, whatever. Okay, we will do it in 2 days. Okay? And several days actually. Let's first do very, casual one, spontaneous one. Whatever you are doing, such as reading book. Yes, that's it. Be happy with this. I'm not saying that you should do only once, you should of course continue, but what you did, please, this is samadhi. See the word samadhi sounds so exotic and so profound and so long-winded and so, like foreign. But samadhi is this, what you just did. Because you're not thinking of the past, you're not thinking. That's it. Let's do this time. Can you play something? Music? Let's just listen to that. And just be in that present. Sensation or feeling, just here. We were talking about wellness. How do you become well? When you let your sense do its job in complete form or we are not letting our sense do its job completely. I think, I'm sure some of you didn't even know what you were drinking, coffee or tea. Because you are thinking of something, or you are talking about something, or you are thinking of that biscuit you are eating, or I don't know, something else, I don't know. Just so busy, the busyness, getting worked up. I mean, I can understand these spa people talking about, what do you call it, the stress-free kind of thing. That is the bonus, actually, of this. You can be, by the way, free from the, outer stress. Don't get excited, but that's, because that's not what if you are learning Buddhist meditation or a practice or path, that's not the aim. Who cares whether you are stressed or not? Whether you are happy or not? Whether you are relaxing or not? Whether you are having a good sleep or not? We don't care. What do we care? Seeing the truth. Because that's the only miracle we want. And the truth, nothing exotic, huh? Everything is impermanent. All our thoughts are uncertain. And whatever we are projecting is just a projection. It's not real. It's not there. What's the benefit of that? Knowing that because all kinds of unnecessary and completely unfair expectations and assumptions will go. If you see an oasis in the desert, and if you know it's an oasis, you will not even go near, but you might enjoy it because it's a beautiful mirage. You can even take a photo if you want. That's it. Just enjoy. I would like to ask some questions. Oh, actually, wait. Let us do a traditional, serious one. Let's sit straight, which is also important, Either you sit like this or this. Let's start. And I'll let's start. Just know whatever is happening in your mind. No need to visualize anything. No need to think about lights, sensations. Okay. That's good. I'll tell you, just to illustrate. Have you heard crow? Crow? Is there crow? So when I was sitting, I heard crow. And you know, this is how it works. This morning we were talking about basho, haiku, ekibana, Japanese tea ceremony, and we also brought all these Japanese basho haiku books. So I heard crow. In Japan there's so many crows, especially in the Zen monasteries. Very nice actually. If you have seen Japanese old movies like Ozu, or especially Ozu, there's so many crows, sound of crows. It always gives you this haunting, very sad, sort of, you know, the distant crow. And because of that crow, my mind went to Japan. My mind went to Ozu, Vanavas city. I'm just exposing how I was distracted, and that led me thinking of my film, which was just shown in Osaka. And that led me to think, oh, the producer is arriving today in Delhi. Is somebody picking him up from the airport? So, entanglement, getting worked up, getting distracted, but somewhere when my mind was somewhere in Indira Gandhi International Airport, my mind quickly come back, okay, that's what I'm thinking. So, nothing to regret. I don't have to sort of self-flagellate myself thinking, oh, you know, my mind was so distracted. It's okay. That's what I did. That's what I'm doing. All coming back, always. Do you want to ask some questions? We have like 10 minutes. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm asking the first question, but on this point of how you got from crow to the arrival of the producer, this often does lead to a productive thought that one needs to do.
Yes. It should be even more productive if you can be in the present and plan. But this is what I was saying, because this is something that is unfathomable right now. But because you are not used to it. It's a bit like, I don't drive car. And it's fascinating when people drive. They use feet, hands, this mirror, that mirror, front, and now lipsticks and SMS, text, phone call. Amazing. I would just cannot do this to me. And there's a word for that, by the way. I'm supporting what I'm saying, that I'm not making these things up as some sort of new age stuff. There's a word that's called in English, how do they translate? Effortless, spontaneously arising awareness. Yeah. So that's, you know, okay, when you read the Buddhist sutras, there are mentions like bodhisattvas, some of the really high bodhisattvas. 10 people can ask him or her a question in one time, in one go. And then he or she will hear all, and then give each of them different answers. When you read that, you can read it as, oh, wow, of course, a supernatural being, you know, special being. But it's a bit like the driving case, you know, trained. So I guess you can do that. Because according to Yogacharya Buddhist school, we are not even using, like let's say if the mind is divided into what is 1 and 8 0? 1 billion?
1 million.
1 billion?
1 million or 6 zeros.
100 million.
100 million. If the mind is divided into 100 million, not even 1% of one, not even one, you are using. That the rest is just sitting there totally useless. You are not using it. And how do you use it? Instead of learning everything and going dragging here and there, come back to the present. Because by coming to the present, at last you are giving a chance to your mind to function. So yeah, I mean, this is a classic question. You know, I'm not bragging here, but 20 years ago when I was reading Thousand Years of Solitude with 20 different uncles, all names similar like Uwan, is it?
Yes.
I couldn't make which uncle he's talking about. And then trying to be in the present and do this, forget it. I have to make sense of the story. I have to be in the present, not possible. But after a while, I have to say, little bit of, like couldn't carelessness of who are the characters, but at the same time making sense, sort of, making sense of the story. And that's what matters, isn't it, at the end, anyway. And I'm sure if I practice this more diligently, I can read 10 different kinds of 1,000 years solitude books all in one go and make sense and say everything. This is the key. Supposedly this is the key. Creativity, compassion, generosity, leadership. Yes. Oh, this is big Bodhisattva thing. How to lead. Core essence of the leadership. Come back to the present. The king, the general has to sit on the general's throne. And then you can sort of pretend that you are not seeing things or pretend, all the general, the way you lead. And we are not even touching the subject of Shunyata, which is the next, I guess. But I think this will do for now. Otherwise, too much information, I think. Anyway, other question? Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
I have you spoke about creativity, Rinpoche.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to ask you, especially as a storyteller yourself, often when one is writing a story, say, the idea is to get lost in your idea or be taken away with your thoughts. And then you're also talking about being mindful and staying in the present. I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit more about how we can do both together.
I think you can consciously get lost, isn't it? Yes, I think so, and that's much better. So if you are not consciously lost, I don't think you are being creative here. You are stuck. But I can understand if you have the fear of getting stumbled and stuck with one. Yeah. Yes, I think you can consciously, you can be in the present. Anyway, the thing is this, there is no past thought and the future thought. Actually, we were talking about boundary, not to go to the past, not to go to the future. I was laughing actually. Not me, Buddhism. There is no past and there is no future. It's both here. But when we talk, we have to talk like that. And you also believe there is a past. You, as a human being. So, that's good news for you. Because the future, the past, when you are writing, it's all in the present. So if you are more conscious of this present, I think you have more sort of opportunity. And you will not be stuck actually with one angle. I'm just trying to wait. My new role this morning, someone else. So good. Year by year, the monkey's mask reveals the monkey. The Japanese haiku, really very, very, the testimony of this kind of practice. Sadly, all this is being hijacked by memes, actually, not really going back to the wisdom. That's a sadness. Yeah, question? Yeah? Yeah?
So to ask you.
Oh, wait.
Sorry. Rinpoche, is it possible to reflect on the past while being in the present?
Yes. Yes, that's what I mean. Because anyway, there is no past in the future. It's always in the present. We are really talking in a very deeper way with this idea for illusion. It's really, really so amazing, isn't it? There is no past and there is no future, yet we are so caught up by past and the future. Yeah. And there is also no present. That we talk another time. I think we should first grind this one. No present, that's just to give you a name. These kind of teachings are taught in traditions such as Mahamudra or Mahasandhi. Yes. It's beautiful teachings. Just some of them are just so powerful. Like the Mahamudra. There's one called Mahamudra by the bank of Ganges. It's just so amazing. And then there's Mahasangha. When the Mahasangha was taught, even the Buddhist, a lot of Buddhists had heart attack. Because Buddhists love sensible things. So, Mahasali is beyond sense and senselessness. They think it's so crazy that you are stuck with being sensible and not sensible. But that one, another time. Yeah. Yeah.
So I actually have two questions, but I'll try and put one of them first. So for example, we are here today, or I'm here today to learn something new. This is born out of an aspiration, which by its meaning is something of the future. I'm aspiring to be a little bit better at mindfulness or whatever. So here I have to plan, and I have to be in the future to be able to execute and learn and get better at whatever it is that I'm doing. So I think I'm trying to link it to what you've just said, and I'm wondering whether when we're talking about the present, are we talking about units of time, or are we talking about something
very
beyond?
Good. Very good. Really good. Actually not. But before that I want to say, thanks for reminding me this. And this, are you doing the Bodhisattva Pranidhana Raja? One of all of these days, Pranidhana Raja. It's a prayer of aspiration. And actually, in the Mahayana Buddhism, the real aspiration is this, being in the present. Okay, I will give you the character of Mahayana Buddhism. Character of Mahayana. The general character of Buddhism is believing in this 4C. All compound things are impermanent, all emotions are pain, everything has no inherently existing nature, nirvana is beyond extreme. But if you ask me what is the character of Mahayana, there are three. Ground or the view is shunyata, emptiness. Path is characteristic-less. The result is beyond aspiration. Okay, having said this, I will now quote Shantideva, which I love to quote all the time. Shantideva says, for the time being, as a practitioner, we allow you to have one ignorance. And what's that? Thinking there is an enlightenment. And why should you have that? Because you don't want to suffer. That's Shantadeva's answer. So, aspiration, yeah, you can just make believe. It's important. Path is a make believe. It has to be sort of sensible make believe. Make believe is important. It's called visualization, by the way. Okay.
Thank you. I just want to ask you, struggle sometimes at work, how do you bring presence to when I'm responding to people or responding to colleagues? Where is that presence coming? Where is it coming from? Which emotion?
You need to get used to this one. Yeah. That's why I would suggest, I really suggest you guys to put this into practice. And I don't mean, please, never limit yourself thinking, oh, I need to practice at a certain time. I need to practice this next to a beautiful vista or a window or a shrine room. I need to start my practice beginning with incense or ritual. Don't do that. Don't limit yourself thinking, I do this in the morning or in the evening. Don't think that, while you're sitting on a toilet shitting, you should not think, I should not do this. It's too holy to do this. You can't think that. You have to do it at all times. Grab the chance all the time. And then, after a while, this will become a habit. And when you are talking to your colleague or having, as I said earlier, when you are having a heated argument with somebody, you will have the presentness. And when you have that presentness, probably you will think everything is humorous. Or probably you will become even more, because it's humorous, and because there's a little bit of couldn't carelessness, warrior kind of attitude, you will actually sort of be, I don't know, you will actually do more things. You'll be more confident. I think. Should we eat? Oh yeah, that's right. See, my mind is not working. Robert now?
Yes.
Oh good. Now that is a really challenging to be in the present. Undeja brothers, oh, they will take you. And then usually there's a long, so they will take you. It's amazing.
They said that they had a small piece in Vana.
Yes, we asked.
Yesterday they reminded me. They said, oh yes, we know.
Okay, fine. I need to, yeah. And they're so beautiful piece. Actually, I don't know the name, but
Prashant.
It's tears on a lotus.
what?
I think it's that title, Tears on a Lotus. I don't know.
I don't know. It's so beautiful. I hope did they enjoy doing that in the ceremony? Yeah.
I think so. They saw
Yeah.
it a little bit as a tick the box thing.
Yeah.
I think they.
Because it's a bit like, too sophisticated, for the audience.
And they scolded me about India located music.
Yeah.
They said that in the video afterwards, the music has been put like filler music.
Oh.
They said if we don't honor our own music, how do we expect others to do it? These haven't changed.
They're so good. Oh, amazing. It's so powerful. And I think they're the best.
Them and I think Rajan Sajjan Mishra, I think they're probably the best.
Especially when they do the deep one. I really like it. Do you want to start off with the questions first? Since afternoon, after lunch, you might feel a little drowsy, dull, but based on what we have discussed this morning, you should realize there is nothing wrong. Just being dull and drowsy, and be conscious and be aware of that. No need to stop rigorously or be so, what do you call it, tough with that. This is taught, especially to Gandharva, by Buddha himself. When I think the Gandharva was so stressed about being very dull and drowsy and murky and sleepy. Gandharva. They are supposedly a bit like a ghost, kind of like an inclination to sort of like Monica. I don't want to go to, I always get carried away by these things. Anyway, if you read a sutra, there's so many interesting things one can learn. One can make notes. Many of the varieties Buddha's disciples are interesting. They were Gandharvas, Yakshasas, kings, queens, merchants, monks. That's important. And this is what I would say, the Tibetans, especially when in Tibet, after the lamas become sort of very influential in Tibet. And ironically, that became sort of the beginning of the decline of Buddhism, when lamas became powerful. Buddhism is never meant to rule. You cannot. It's not like other religions. It has no. Probably this is one of the reasons why Buddhism also will not really go so popular, because it's not to say not interested in social things. It's like a science. It's like, pure mathematics or science. It just talks about the truth. But, the expounder and the practitioner of these, some of them, all of them say human beings, and human beings always, one of the weaknesses of human beings is trying to convince others. And in the process of trying to convince others, some become successful, and success is never enough. So, in Tibet, when the lamas become quite influential, politically, socially, economically, I would say that was the beginning of the decline of Buddhism. The reason why I say decline is because the lamas are majority of them, and especially lamas, when there are two different kinds of lamas. Lamas, those who are kind of yogis, and then there are lamas, those who are ordained monks. And somehow the ordained monks, they end up choosing the reference of monks. Of course, that's what we do, isn't it? We always do that. If you are, if you believe in a certain philosophy, you always refer to someone who thinks similarly. So, the Tibetan or the Buddhist scene is so, sort of monk-oriented. And I would say that was not so good in one way. That has really, it has, I don't know how to put it, contributed in a different way. If I say it, most mildly. Because, Buddha taught it to merchants, butchers. This is one thing I would always wanted to say. Even a butcher asked him, he's a butcher, he has to kill. That's his job for survival. Does he have a way? Does he have a path? And Buddha said, yes. Why not take a vow? Why not discipline himself never to kill after sunset till sunrise? Of course, it has got nothing to do with Buddha giving license to kill. It's just the beginning of a discipline, beginning of an awareness, beginning of this kind of presentness. This is something that needs to be revived. I should say Mahayana Buddhism has contributed a lot to the Buddhist world. If it was, but of course, I can never deny the fact that Theravada Buddhism, Sharvakayana Buddhism, which is popular in places like Burma, Sri Lanka, Thailand, they are the root, and they are the fundamental. they're the most important. But Mahayana Buddhism, like the Sherpakayana Buddhists have images like the monks. That's their model, so to speak. That's their idol being. But Mahayana Buddhists have idol beings such as bodhisattvas, with earrings, nose rings, consorts, and you're going to come up with the Vimalakirti, isn't it? And when that come up, you can read Vimalakirti character alone. It's just fascinating. It's very, kind of spoiled, overfed, guy who basically really was a bodhisattva. I was just saying, very interesting, if you even look at the disciples of the Buddha, their job, their origin, their faculties are different. So Gandharva, and then, even though, when I talk about how Buddha had the disciples of the Nagas, the Gandharvas, Yakshasas, it sounds a bit like fairy tales. So Buddha had tigers and monkeys listening to his teachings, etc. Similar. But then again, in the Mahayana, many teachings are very, very metaphorical. We all have a little bit of Gandharva in us. We are all kind of ghost. Ghost. What is ghost in Buddhism? Basically, beings who does not have a certain place to dwell. Do we have? Yes, of course, we do have an address. But not really certain, is it? When the karmic wind blows and we just transmigrate all the time. If not physically, definitely mentally. We have that ghost-like element. And the ghost-like element, an aspect of ghost element is also dullness. Dull, drowsy, not clearly thinking, a little bit slow, such as after lunch, such as in the afternoon. Yeah, this is the thing. We probably must be going through Gandharva stage at the moment. And then probably towards the end of the day, we might feel more human, probably towards the evening, the late afternoon. More desire, more sentimental, more romance, more, so on and so forth. Anyway, just want to say that any kind of state of mind is good. You cannot say, I'm drowsy, I cannot meditate. You see, I really want to bring this term again and again, because it's so unfortunate. People don't meditate because they think meditation is sitting straight, or being quiet and closing eyes and sitting on a cushion. Yes, that's one method. That's a really good method. But yes, be drowsy, ask me questions, and be aware of what you are asking, if you can. Yes?
When we started the second session after the tea break in the morning, your first few words were, we always want to do something and we want to fill up our time. You made some such comment. Could you say something more about that? And should one refrain from doing that? Is it okay to do that, or is it beneficial to do that?
Again, as long as you can throw in or insert in this being present, so I have no judgment. It could be very good. It could be very beneficial. It could be, but if you don't have the presentness, of course, then that. This is again. Sorry, but I always want to go to the source because I really don't want you to think that you have heard something very new agey this time. It's again back to the teachings of what we call alaya. The reason why, this is a little bit technical probably, the reason why we always feel that we need to do something is, this is what Buddhists think. When you don't do anything, then usually what happens when you don't think, basically when you are totally, retreating from all that, what happens is you become so alone and you become so, naked, alone, pure and like a baby-like. And this is something ordinary people who are so used to being habituated can't bear it. We have to do something. We have to pinch ourselves, so to speak, to tell ourselves, hey, I'm alive. I'm not dead yet. Because that complete, pure, pristine state is unbearable, so to speak. So I think we like to keep ourselves busy. So here my answer is, yes, you can keep yourself busy, but again, put the presentness of being that awareness.
Because the other doctrine was that an empty mind is a devil's workshop. And sometimes the devil finds that empty mind.
Right.
And just to share for myself, I find a way of harnessing your mind, not only from cluttering, that's different from being engaged. So, and secondly, green. I find the presence of green, any form of green, right? We have in Vana, is also helps improving your consciousness,
Yes.
making now your friend, and it helps a lot.
Yes.
And I'm just trying to get confirmation whether I'm going down the right track or the wrong track.
Very much, as I said, right and wrong is actually strictly speaking, Buddhists really don't have the word right and wrong in the sutras. They have something called valid or not valid, or it's not. I think in the Pali they say sadhu, sadhu, there's something that's done and there's a sadhu, sadhu, which actually means sort of, I guess you can, nowadays people will translate this as good, but actually it's not really good or bad kind of good. It's like, maybe I'm being too technical here, but it's a bit like, in this context, it fits perfectly. Something like that. That's what it means. Within this context, whatever is happening. Like at this moment when Tara asked me what should she bring, I said coffee, because that seems to be a fitting drink for me now. It's a bit like fitting. So just make it fitting. And as for the green, right? Shakyamuni Buddha chose tree to sit under to meditate. And he really praised that. He really said under the tree, and I think it's he said actually for different faculties and different people, different location or different atmosphere, it's important. But tree is very much. Tree is a big thing for Buddhists, as you know. You know, Bodhi tree, Sal tree, Nagaroda, the tree. All these trees very, very important. Sri Lanka, I think it's in Sri Lanka, if you go to a Buddhist, whatever, monastery, the first thing they bring you is a tree. And then if you are not that convinced, because you are just being led to a tree, then they take you to a stupa. You know, it's like a mound, basically, which represents the Buddha's mind. So if you are not satisfied still, because, you know, stupa is a stupa, you just go around, it's a mound, it is nothing, you can't go in and sit. And so only after that, if you really want something like a toy, but really usable for, then they take you to the temple with the Buddha's statue. I thought that's such a good thing actually, but now, you know, it's going the other way. Now the people like the temple more, of course. So now, first thing, the tourists go to the temple, and if only when they have enough time, then they go to the tree. It's the other way. Bodhi tree, isn't this a Bodhi tree? This place. Yes. Tree is a big thing. Sal tree is supposedly very, very important for Buddhists also. Equally, 3 sal trees is where Buddha achieved parinirvana, probably even more important than the Bodhi tree. Sal tree. Many here?
These are all sal. The whole forest here is sal.
The Tibetans, in their Khanga, they painted this, they got a completely wrong idea. Latin, is it?
Yes.
What does that mean?
Well, it's a ficus, like a people is a ficus.
I see.
So there are many varieties of a ficus. It is a ficus though.
I hope I'm able to ask this properly. When one does an action, and if one is completely aware of that action in the present moment, how does it work in terms of its exhaustion of its karma? Is that the beginning?
Generally, it's the beginning of the exhaustion, but after a while, it could be further beginning, or for some more advanced yogis, it may be racking up with the karma, you know. Okay, the karma, it's a bit like this. Say we are like a phone, you know, hand phone. We need to charge, the phone needs to be charged. So we are the phone. We need charging. What is it? We as a samsaric being is like a phone. What charges you is this fidgety action, you know, movement, doing. Doing is what charges you. Even the not doing is a doing in this case. Anything, not good. Thinking, oh, this is not good, charging you. This is good, I need to do this, charging you. Now, in the present, state, no charging. Sounds a bit strange, but because Buddhist aim is, you want to exhaust all the battery. You don't want to be a phone anymore. You don't want to receive calls. You don't want to be connected. You want to be free, because connected means somebody is going to know where you are. It's a bit like that. Any kind of doing, any kind of poking, I think poking is a good word. Poking, rearranging, yes, rearranging. Repositioning. These are classic words, by the way. It's in the sutras. Repositioning, rearranging. Immediately. And rearranging, repositioning is the karma. Karma, what's in Hindi? Kam? Kam. What does that mean? Work, action. Something that produces, basically. Something that has an effect. Something that reproduces, something that has an action. It's, I guess Buddhists don't like that. Because that means uncertainty. Because you have become a subject to whatever you have done. And this, by doing that, you are now subject to whatever the outcome. And Buddhists don't like that. And freedom, liberation is really from both cause and result, not just the result. We are not trying to be free from suffering only. That's actually the bonus. We are trying to liberate ourselves from the cause of the suffering. You attack the cause of the suffering discontinues. Anyway. Okay? Any more?
Rinpoche, being in the present, last time also you mentioned that one is free from fear and hope, which means having a state of mind which is free. Now, what I really want to understand, the process of really reaching to the present. Because to me, it really appears that the past, future, present, they are always in the present state.
Yes.
Almost saying that all time is in the present.
Yes.
And now all these three times are mixed together. So unless until I get extracted that present, I can't even see very clearly my past and the future. So the question is that how does one get that present moment extracted from this? Because it's almost like if I'm in the sea, I can't see the sea. I have to come out of the sea to the shore to see the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of process one can really...
Okay, first a very practical thing I will tell you. You know, most of the time, the moment you think, oh, I must do meditation, I must practice, you have already done the practice. The next onwards, you are not practicing. You are just rearranging, basically. This is what I said earlier, remember? Oh, I have to meditate. Why am I not meditating? Good job, you have done it. After that, yeah, if you are good at this, you are still good, but most of the time, you are slowly hijacked by ritual of sitting, ritual of all that. But I'm really talking from the most profound level. if there is somebody who I'm supposed to lead, I will say, yes, sit. Sit, face the east, whatever. We have even recently come up with an app called Finding Buddha. All this is necessary. I'm following, I'm really learning a lot. Next I'm going to suggest dietary restrictions. A certain vegetable I was thinking. And then outfit. People like this. That's a new age now, these things. But I think it's also, method. Okay, so that's more practical. But even present, as I said earlier, there is no such thing as present. You are really talking from the very, sort of ultimate level. So, okay, just now, think this. There's one thing in the entire universe that knows itself, and that's the mind. Okay, mind knows other things, right? Mind knows other things, but only mind knows itself. Just check now. Not necessarily as specific things like my mind is blue, my mind is red. No, not like that. Just be conscious now. Of course, a moment later it becomes a story. It doesn't matter. But the first moment, do it now. You can feel. You're cognizing. You're cognizing yourself. I'm not saying cognizing something like a tree or a water. Just now. See, there's cognition all the time. This is why also Buddhists loves lamps, lamp offering, because they say that the lamp is one thing that really represents mind. It illuminates everything, illuminates the darkness, but without a lamp you also don't see itself. So lamp illuminates others and itself. So this is why very mediocre, distracted disciples like myself, instead of doing meditation, instead of banking on being in the present, I also bank on accumulating merit through making offerings of lamps. I've done a lot in Bodhgaya, especially in Bodhgaya. Every year we do hundreds and thousands. May my mind become like a lamp, illuminate all and illuminate itself. But it's not actually you will make the mind illuminating others and itself. It is. This is not just Maitreya, but Buddha himself said, this is one of the most quintessential Buddha's teaching. He said, there is nothing to eliminate and there is nothing to add. Just know itself. Be conscious of, just cognize itself. Do not eliminate anything, do not add on anything. Just cognize itself. Other than that, you have nothing to do. And by the way, we are coming from quite a higher level here. And I was thinking that maybe like tomorrow or day after tomorrow we talk. All the others also. This is another thing. This is another thing. Actually in the West, because the West is very much into independence, individualism. So it sounds nice. Oh, mind is already illuminated itself and it's always illuminating others. And I don't need a guru, I don't need to be what Shiksha, I don't need to have all this, rituals coming from East. All these Indians and Tibetans, they just come up with their own culture. Who cares? We don't need. Very wrong. Very, very, very wrong. If you read the Buddha's most profound teachings, such as Vajrayana Sutra, the beauty of Buddhism is no ritual is rejected. Do it. Do whatever you want. They will all help you. They can all help you, such as sitting straight. Is good. It helps. It helps much better than, for beginners, it is more beneficial than lying in a hammock. And Margarita, remember? And, by the way, I should add this one. In the Tantra, other way round, okay? Must lie down on hammock. Must have Margarita. I'm telling you, I'm serious. There is practice like this, Tantra. But we don't talk these things to the general public. Do you know why? Because the general public likes the Buddha as this serene, with a begging bowl, bare feet, this sort of the savior image, sort of no house, no address, very trustable. This guy is trustable because he doesn't want anything, he doesn't need anything. So we have that kind of image, the Buddha. But in the Tantra, we have like a Vajradhara, tantric deities. And the image is totally different. So here again I want to say, Margarita is not rejected. But I'm not encouraging, by the way. I don't want you to quote me and sort of practice Margarita from now on, or whatever.
Rinpoche, I had a question about security. I understand the 4 truths you talked about in the morning session. And notionally one understands impermanence and non-attachment. But as human beings, we are programmed emotionally, physically, to do action towards creating value and creating security.
Yes.
We look for relationships to meet expectations. We create work for, especially for women in India. You're looking for security, physical security, financial security. How do you reconcile that with the awareness that this is all transient?
Not just that, actually. What do you mean by reconcile, by the way?
It's the awareness that on one hand, you're building something.
Yes.
I was having a conversation with Sahil yesterday about building things that last beyond you, beyond, like art lasts. That's why we connect to it. Music lasts. Ideas last. But the idea that we are here, we all live in the world. We are, we can come here because some of us can afford it. So there is the reality of, the roti kapra makan thing of, food, water, shelter. How do you reconcile the need for, human beings have a need for security at all levels, whether it's a palace or a hut. Yeah, we look for relationships, whether it's platonic or non-platonic, because we want to feel safe, we want to feel accepted. I completely emotionally understand and respect the 4 truths, and it really resonates with me, but I equally find myself having to reconcile the need for security.
Yes, we this is why I was talking about, we have been talking kind of from a really high level. We need, there's the whole teachings on what we call Lojong, mind training. Let me try to put this to kind of more cohesive. First, more practically, all these we need to go step by step, and we need to habituate ourselves, different kind of habituation. Yes, I mean even in the Mahayana Sutras. Okay, give you one example. Mahayana Sutra praises the Bodhisattvas, those who can give their limbs, flesh and bone to hungry tigers, okay? But then in the same sutra, Buddha and the Bodhisattvas have prohibited doing the very same action to the young Bodhisattvas, because if they try to even do that, then it may cause them completely turning away from the vast and infinite and the grand path, because of the, as a human being, as you said, you need, but you think you need this kind of security, body, dwelling, relationship, references. So the Bodhisattvas now gradually have to learn to really slowly, well, depending on, different faculties of different people. Some Bodhisattvas can do it quite fast and bravely, some Bodhisattvas quite slow and very carefully. You have to just slowly learn to have a different definition of what is need and what is security, so on and so forth. This morning I was talking about, there's a Mahamudra teaching by the Ganges. One of the verses which I can quote, this is so beautiful. The great Telopa, okay, this is the great Telopa, fisherman, by the way, Indian, torturing his student, Naropa, again and again for so many years, well, 12 years supposedly. The Indians always, exaggerate, I feel sometimes. From back then, you understand? And so palace have 500 miles in bedroom or something like that?
Yojana.
What is that? Is it a mile?
No, it's a kind of distance, length.
Measure? How big is that? 500?
Nobody knows.
I think 21 miles, I think.
Really? Wow. The king will never have a proper cup of tea. There was, I guess they ride, maybe gallop horse. Anyway, Telopa suddenly dragged Naropa and said, listen you. And then it began the teachings of what we call Mahamudra of the Ganges. He said, this is one verse that says, son, referring to his disciple. It is not the appearance that is binding you. It is the attachment to the appearance that binds you. So this is your answer. Like all this, we need this, we need, okay, house, everything, house, car, vacuum machine, dishwasher, lock, door lock, all this will never bind you. It is making big deal out of them. That is what binds you. So I guess that's something that we need to sort of learn. Because when you finally learn, these are not big deal, these are uncertain, these are illusory, then you are sort of spontaneously secure. You are spontaneously not, you understand, then relation, because I think very different kind of security. tell you too many of that. This is one country you can actually see some of those great wandering sadhus. I was just thinking about those people who sing Bowl of Bengal. Yeah, they look so. They look like they're very secure. They don't seem to have much things to be afraid of. And they sing songs. Bounce. What does that mean? That is. Wanderers. Yeah. Is there any other culture that venerates wanderers? Apart from India?
Yes.
I mean, in Tibet there is, but then that came from. In the West, yeah.
You know, the gypsies were the came from India.
Gypsies who are thinking as well.
Gypsies are not.
But not only from India, from Romania.
Gypsies are more or less kind of.
They look down. They look down upon them.
Yeah. India used to really, they're like a. Indians treat, in the past anyway, probably even now, they treat wanderers as a sort of a Harvard research officers. Very important people, you know, those who really are looking for, those who deals with the truth. So you like to give them food, bananas, fruits, you know, you want to offer them whatever, because these guys are doing big job. And they did. This Theropa and Naropa, they're wanderer. Theropas, Naropas, Padmasambhavas, my goodness, they're all wanderers. Wandering. And actually, you should maybe try to do that. There is a practice. I mean, not, you know, right away. In the future, you should have the aspiration. It's really good. Don't, you know, I'm not suggesting to, you know, just for maybe about a week. There's a certain discipline you have to, you know, even the wanderers have a discipline. You are supposed to, the moment, okay, you are supposed to go to a place, and the moment you feel quite familiar yourself, okay? But this road leads to that, this road, this is the way to the next 7-Eleven. Okay, we are talking about the modern wanderer. This is a taxi stop, there's a bank, ATM machine, you move. You are supposed to, that's what you are supposed to do. And of course, if somebody actually are beginning to know you, you definitely move on. You definitely move on. There is this practice. So, you know, but that method is all, you know what is it for? It is all to bring you to the present moment. Because when you are wandering, when you have no this nest, so to speak, then it takes you closer to that. And I don't see any reason why you can't do that. Driving a, I don't know, limousine. Basically what you need to do is, you know, just for 3 days. 6 days, 9 days, you can. And India is a good place to do this. In America, probably you'd get arrested. Don't you think? Isn't it?
There was a woman actually, did she, I think that he walked, the gentleman who walked the country, so technically modern day wanderers. And in Spain, I think.
Oh yeah, you are not supposed to plan, by the way.
Oh, okay. From France to, yeah, that's a trek, which, yeah, but that's fine.
One of my tutor, disappeared totally. Yeah. He received this very important teaching on wandering. Supposedly. Everybody knows that. And after he received that teaching, I think everybody kind of knew that this man is going to take off any day. So, and he became my tutor for about 6-7 months. And one morning, disappeared. Left everything. It's not like packed a bag or something, left everything. Left behind everything. And we don't know whether he's dead, but probably by now he's dead. He was already about 40-ish around that time, and this was like 40 years ago, 45 years ago. He was my tutor for me. Yeah, I actually remember the night before he disappeared, then we found him disappeared in the morning. He came to see me kind of more often than the other. And he was sort of quiet. I don't know, I just want to but these practices are slowly going. But, this is the thing that I wanted to. The wandering attitude you can practice without actually leaving home. Wonder that there's so many. You can practice that.
Can you please elaborate on that?
Oh yeah. One thing I can elaborate is I think it makes the person a bit of a pain in the neck for others. Never really answering properly, things. No. I'm talking about things like, where are you going? Then answer is like, can't you see where I'm facing? Where did you come from? What? Where's my, bag? I came from there. That kind of thing. Yes.
Rinpoche, where does the role of families and loved ones feature in the practice that you are asking us to do? It may not be a direct correlation, or maybe...
You mean the wandering one?
No. About definitely not the wandering ones, but in generally the practice of being present.
Being present, yes.
How do we link that? And in a way, linking back to Divya.
So much. This is really important question. Actually, being in the present, really, I have heard actually from people how it actually developed appreciation of family much more, because you might still argue, you might still fight, whatever, but it's because you are in the present. At the least, you always look at them as if this is the last time you are going to see them. So, because usually there is always this taking for granted, I'm going to see them, this is less of, a lot of taking for granted, a lot of assumptions, a lot of, not really appreciation, no appreciation, stuff like that. At the least this. But then more, as I said this morning, the presentness really is really key to the empathy. Trying to contrive an empathy, he's after all he or she is after all a human being. Oh, it's so difficult. You can do that, you can, but it's very contrived and it's so much labor. But being in the present, I think it slowly opens up that kind of empathy, sympathy, being in, yeah. But one thing I want to tell you guys is, you have two big challenge. You are not going to trust that this is the real key. I know, because it's too simple. This is your challenge. Because we always think that the path has to be more complicated. Yes, Buddhism has 84,000 complicated stuff, if you want. And you do want. And you should. Apply also mantras, mudras, charms, all of that. Never rejecting them. But it's too simple. My grandfather always says, like eyelashes. Too close, you don't see. That's your challenge, number one. Challenge two is when you actually done it, when you actually do it, you will never trust that you have done it. Because you will always say, oh, proper meditation means I wasn't thinking about pizza, I wasn't thinking about this, but something else, like a color, shape, light, I don't know. So you will not trust your own meditation, which you have done perfectly. As I said, chances of you having done the proper meditation is like, oh, I should practice. You have done it actually. Then the beginning of not doing is happening. Then you really still, and you should still do it. I'm not stopping you to do that. You should still do it. It still helps you. Because this form kind of practice, what these form practice do is they will help you to bring more frustrations in the future. So that's good, isn't it? So yes, time it. Have a timer beeping sound here and there. Whatever, do whatever necessary. Anyway, like rupas, images of the Buddha, like the statue, they're supposedly for that. Otherwise, the image of the Buddha is not necessary. In the past, they don't even have it. Buddhism doesn't even have it. Only later introduced. Because reminder, it's supposed to remind you. But I'm telling you, most of the methods, means are very, very. They became a problem after a while. After a while, statue of the Buddha on the fourth corner of your room, you still don't see them. They don't remind you anything. So the statues become bigger and bigger in places like Bhutan. And they do less and less meditation. And they see the statue of the Buddha less and less. And then they try to put gold as if this helps. And of course, the loud blabbering, amplifying sound of mantras, now it's happening. So noisy.
Can you, sir, describe to a lay person what is Tantra? What is the difference between Tantric practices and others? And my younger brother here desires to be a Tantric now. So how can we lead him in the right direction?
Are we talking about Margarita here?
How can we lead him in the right direction?
Tantra, just briefly. Tantra actually means continuity. Continuity, continuum. I think that's what it means in the Sanskrit language, actually. I know Tantra is also often, nowadays associated with sex, which also has its reason, by the way. Tantra, the real meaning of the Tantra, continuous. It's a very profound, actually. What the Tantric Buddhism is saying is you should just continue. You are perfect. There's nothing to change. So it's a technique of the Tantra is how to really continue as it is. The word as it is. Even in the Mahayana, it's, Tathagata, I think in Sanskrit, Tatha. As it is. Such, as it is. Just as it. The Tantrics, for the Tantra, you are the mandala. You are the deity. Well, maybe I should speak a little bit since you are all joining the Fire Puja. Yes. We are going to do the Fire Puja, which is a tantric ritual, by the way. You are deity. Buddhists don't believe in a god as an external thing, but Buddhists say that you are deity. You are the object of your essence is the object of refuge. Your essence is the object of offering. Okay, but Tantra is very daring. In fact, so daring that the general Buddhists have even, shunned them a lot. The Tantra had a lot of problem with the general Buddhist. They think that Tantrics are crazy. Okay, this is what a Tantric would say.
So can we learn these
yes. Well, I would say this is one thing that the Tantric Buddhism has been kept quite well by the Tibetans. This is one thing we have to give them credit. So if there's, the Tantric would say like this, again the presentation is, the Tantra really teaches the presentness in the most raw, direct format. So the Tantric would say like this, if I eat this karma with complete confidence of myself being the deity, if I eat this like that, let's say you invite 3 million Buddhas. You offer them food and shelter and whatever gifts for 3 months. Every day you offer them. Must have a lot of merit. Tantric would say, eating 1 seed of cardamom with the confidence of being the deity, purely, that has more merit. Tantra is very daring. And the reason why Tantra is also related to sex is sex, and there are other things, by the way. There's sex, and then there's also like other situations like yawning, like sneezing. These are some of the moments that even on a mundane level brings you to the closest to the present moment. I think somebody was telling me about surfing thing. Surfing, when he is surfing, there's a moment where he really feels, in the present. Why not?
So where does sex come in all this?
Because as I was saying, because it takes you to the most non-judged, especially during the climax. There is no bad, good, no judgment, you understand? Okay, not even the sex. Love, for instance. When you are in love with somebody, what happens? Reasons gone. What is reasons? Reasons is judgment. Reason means judgment. Reasons means past and the future. When there is a love, even the bad smells fine. Even whatever is fine, whatever. The most pathetic words coming from the other side, it sounds so nice. So love, stuff like that. So these are used as a tools to accentuate the present moment, presentness. But as you can see, it's quite dangerous. If it is given the wrong time to the wrong person by a wrong person, it could really, mislead you. Basically, what the tantric would say is wisdom is like a fire, and the emotions is like a wood. More wood means bigger fire. But if your fire is this small, and then you put so much wood, fire is dead. But if your fire is healthy, then put as many wood as possible. More fire. So a little bit of wisdom, anger, jealousy, pride, suspicion, all these emotions will just make more wisdom. So this is why Tantra is kept secret. Not because Tantra has something embarrassing.
So are you saying that only few people can learn it?
Well, few people who have the daringness. You have to be daring. The daringness and, for instance, like a tantric concept of guru is unlike any other concept of, what do you call it? Guru Shiksha Parampara? Guru Shiksha Parampara in the Tantra is very, 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 it's quite tough. Well, I don't know if tough is the right word. It's just like the guru is there just to rub all the time beneath you, wherever you are sitting or standing. That's you are hiring somebody to do that. And it's Guru Shiksha Parampara in the Guru Shiksha Parampara in the tantric level is probably the most sophisticated human relationship ever. And if you really want to have the most sophisticated human relationship, is Guru Shiksha Parampara of the Tantra. So many beautiful images. In India also, Hindu Tantra has like the images like the Devi cutting her own head, offering it to the Guru, stuff like that. These are all, of course, symbolic. Okay, shall we have a break?
Continuing this question.
You are a bit worried, are you?
Not the Tantra per se, but the prerequisite for Tantra that is more difficult to really achieve. Because most of the teaching clearly say that to practice Tantra, realization of the emptiness of the bodhisattva is clear.
Yeah.
Unless the ground is not there, then the people go really haywire. So
generally speaking.
Yeah.
But you could have the faculty, that you could have all the faculty from the past life, merit. There is no need. You get it.
Yeah, but that is also because coming from
the
past. Mm-hmm. Whether it's the past or the present, that ground unless something is really creating.
This is similar to Chandrakirti's, Chandrakirti was asked, to whom should we teach emptiness? The Buddhist Shunyata stuff. And the one would have think, to those graduates from Oxford or Cambridge. But he didn't say that. He said, you should only teach emptiness to those who merely by uttering the word Shunyata, they have goosebumps, they have tears in their eyes. Yes, to them you should teach emptiness because they will understand. So, logic. In Buddhism, logic study is so important, but parallel to that, teachers always makes mockery of logic. In fact, one of the book I remember, first pages, prepare and accept that logic is the most sophisticated way to make you an idiot. Okay. Another thing. The verses with the niggy, the chinoni, over the mind, the limit of the mind. It is not be, means some to the show. It is need you to know, chinoni, mind, the limit of the mind. This is just to again introduce you. When we talk about meditation, sadly, we have narrowed it down to something to do with the mind only, isn't it? Something, like mindfulness. I mean, the word itself says it. So it's always something to do with, sitting and watching, directly connected to the mind. But this is not true. All five senses, you can meditate with all five senses. I've asked them to give you something to eat because I thought maybe the vision, what do you see? We can do that actually. We can do that. But I think we can do why not? Because it doesn't have to be special, of course. Okay, so this time I will let you do the posture up to you. You can sit straight. You don't have to sit straight, but you don't have to. No way. I'm going to translate this very true to the word. You don't necessarily have to look. You don't have to also see. You got that? You don't have to look and you don't have to see. But whatever is appearing to your eye consciousness, be in that present. It doesn't have to be interesting. I think, as a photographer you would know that. You should become like a camera basically. The cameras don't think, okay, this is what I'm going to cut, like that. Whatever is looking, whatever is happening or there, not happening, whatever is there. We are really learning the projection, what production design is on its highest level. Yeah, so please do that. Just a few minutes, just try. For instance, like, I see this, you see I'm not using the right word. This beige color. Okay, that's it. So the moment I think carpet, then I'm losing a little bit. Just look. Again, I'm using the wrong word. Actually, don't look, don't see. Whatever is appearing to your eye consciousness. I shouldn't think this is a rose petals. This is a big deal, by the way. You know, you are a human being. You have mind. You want to consciously live, you know? Otherwise, matters would be dead. We are talking about really consciously living now. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, do this in your room. I don't know. Okay, I'll be using. This is not really proper word. The only thing is what is appearing in the sphere of your eye consciousness. So okay, let me use the wrong words within this context. Have you seen your doorknob of the toilet ever? Have you really seen it? Probably not, because you're always busy closing it and locking it. Have you know, all kinds of things. Kitchen sink, broom, ceiling, edge of the blanket, towels, soggy towel, fresh towel. I don't know, all this vision, light. Okay. Sound, we did it this morning. Tomorrow we will also do. Maybe tomorrow I'll bring some strange music. What do you think? This is so good. Good music is very tough. Because, you know, they will take you, you just... You will listen to some outdated trance music. So, now, again, the other senses, tongue, taste. Yeah. Eat something and then being in the present. No judging, no acknowledgement, no confirmation. Actually, wasabi would have been good. Something that really you cannot escape. That one. And by the way, all this you can do it together too. You can also do it together. You can even, you know, for instance, listen. The, you know, sound of this. I'm serious. And look not to just biscuit, but you know, there's something, you know, shape. We cannot do it together, and then, but separately too. So let's do tasting again. Yeah, taste. I was asking Veer, maybe you should do, Vana should do, what, orioki? You know orioki? Very tough, I'm telling you. You have to chew something like 52 times or something like that. These are form of discipline. I mean, you can, for instance, this, put it mouth and then chew about 100 times. making it up. It's in the Zen tradition. Whatever. I got it. Tasty. And then the feeling, maybe tonight, when you undress, or tomorrow morning when you dress, tie, suit, whatever. You can try. So and so on and so on. Yes, please. Do a meditation on packing. Packing, have you done it? You must pack a, I don't know, I pack a lot, I pack all the time. It's terrible. Going around the world, realizing, bringing all sorts of useless things. Haven't used even once sometimes, 6 months going around. I haven't even seen that thing traveling with my suitcase. They used to ask these airline people, you know, have you packed yourself? Oh, why don't they do that? They don't, do they?
Yeah, not in the West.
Yeah? I used to say, yes, I do pack, I did pack myself. Packing, unpacking. These metaphors may sound kind of new, invented. Yes, the metaphor may be different, like packing, you know, it has its root. Shantaji was in the Bodhicharya Avatara. He even has instructions on how to wash hand. Nothing to do with, you know, it should not be taken as, these are not a cultural, yeah, this is something that I need to tell you. This should never become a cultural thing. This is not a, you know, this is not like code of conduct. It's a means to produce awareness. If it doesn't, they are the real culprit. They hijack the wisdom. Means always, means has the means and the methods are supposed to bring you to the wisdom, but very often the means and the methods takes you away from the wisdom. Because you end up getting too, you know, worked up with a method. Thank goodness that Shantaji was a Bodhicharya Avatara's instructions on how to wash hand didn't become a Buddhist culture. You have a big problem. It's a very strange of washing hand. You're supposed to wash like this. You can't do this. Okay? You can't do this. But again, don't ask me, why not like that? It's just a method. You can do that too. But it's just because at that time the instruction was given just to bring the awareness. So you first wash this. Like that, like that, like that, like that. When that's finished, then you do this. Like that, like that, like that. So you never do this. This kind of instructions. Not important, but also important. It's a method. So many things. Then along the line, many people think this is a Buddhist code of conduct, some sort of ethical thing. Not true. But there are some good things. Things like, if someone asks you a direction, how should you point to the direction with all the fingers, stuff like that. And there's plenty of this in the Shastras. The readers should not take them as a cultural code of conduct. Including, so many things. Now, why the monks shave their hair? It's got nothing to do with if you have a shorter hair, you'll have a faster enlightenment. Nothing. It's a discipline. It's just supposed to take you closer to the presentness. Why? And then I should tell you, monks are asked to shave. If the Buddhists are so much into shaving, then how about the yogis? They are supposed to keep the hair, not cut at all. Tantric yogis, they have so long hair, after a while they can't wash, they all become dreadlock. Like one of my teachers, he is so big, dreadlock, so smelly, really dirty. Wow. Whenever I go to receive teaching from him, the smell. So tough. Shaving hair to dreadlock. Paradoxy, the variety. They never fix things. That's why Buddhism difficult to flourish. It should flourish actually. It has a lot of options, But I told you, people don't like options. People like do this way, only this way. Everybody must follow. Then it's simple. Buddhist method is too much, too many things. So, I was thinking of talking about shamatha and vipassana, but I think we should do this in the morning. Probably more fresh. Too much information today. Because we are going to do final puja, I'll explain a little bit. Today is supposedly a very special day. So, I'm doing a fire puja. The principal deity of that fire puja is Avalokiteshvara. Again, as I said earlier, in the Tantra, the real deity is yourself. But sometimes, in order to see how you look at the mirror. So we create a mirror image of you, which is going to be Avalokiteshvara. But in today, see, Buddhists believe, that this is Tantra now. You have all the Buddha quality, nothing missing, nothing at all. You could be roaming around in this filthy samsara ever, all this time, but none of your Buddha qualities gone rusty or decayed. You have to have that confidence. When you wash your cup, you have a confidence that the stain is going to go, isn't it? That fundamentally cup is clean. Just like that. So how do you do that? How do you develop this kind of confidence? So many methods. And one method is visualizing the deity in front of you, your mirror image basically. So today, your deity will be within the fire that we will create. And okay, now this is getting a little complicated. Tantra, Avalokiteshvara represents compassion, peace, harmony, and balance. This is wellness retreat. Balance is a key. So we are invoking that energy specially. And also, supposedly in the astrology today is also astrologically towards around now, from now starting until the sunset, is the prosperity. The Buddhists never reject any of the astrology is also fine. Anything, whatever. Do you have a superstitions? A lot of superstitions? Perfect. You are then really good vessel for this. Remember, Buddha said this, lotus never grow in the clean water. Lotus only grows in the muddy water. More muddier the better. All this hang-ups, superstitions. Anyway, everything is a superstition. That's what Buddhists think. Even 4 + 4 is 8 is a superstition. It's a, labeling, it's an assumption. It's just decided by a bunch of people long time ago, and we are just sucking to that. Who knows, maybe it's 9. Ask these architects. But we won't give up this, would we? 4 + 4 is 8. It's difficult to think it's 5 or something. Anyway, as a tantric practitioner, you have to go a little bit beyond. Remember? If I told you 4 + 4 is 1, you at least should think, oh, maybe, who knows? Could be, then you're good. No, this is only 8. You are a reason follower. You are not in love. You are not in love. You are not a good vessel. Because you are following, you are dictated by reasoning, logic. Okay, so anyway, the fire, in the center of the fire is the deity, Avalokiteshvara. If you want more details, red color. Red color is magnetizing and also a little bit of passion. He holds a red lotus. And then we make offerings. Offerings of all kinds of substance. Especially, do we have red wine? Yeah, okay. Especially intoxicating substance. We offer that. Okay, I'll tell you the reason why. When you deliberately consciously use intoxicating substance as an offering substance, what you are trying to do is habitual mind is intoxicated already. So you are now using, it's a bit like a homeopathic. Homeopathic is supposedly like a poison, isn't it? You use that to cure the problem. So it's a bit like that. So your mind, your habitual mind is already intoxicated. Intoxicated means you are not thinking straight. Do you all think this is a room? Well, from the tantric point of view, you are not thinking straight. This is not a room. Room is imputed, labeled. You have been brainwashed to think like this. What is room anyway? Room, what is room? You are intoxicated. So now we use intoxicating, we intoxicate the intoxicated mind. Then what happens? You become sober. You understand? Intoxicate the intoxicated mind. Then actually you become, finally you are making sense now. So we will be using a little bit of intoxicating substance, so please don't get alarmed. Don't sort of brandish things. The Buddhists are now using And actually, there are some other substance, which we haven't really gathered, and no need to mention too much here, because I think we will go, So, okay. So, later on, you can also participate putting things in the fire, like a lot of petals. You must, if you can think, this petal is everything. Mountains, rivers, planets, everything. Shopping malls. Because whatever you think is good, gold, silver, whatever you think is good. Trash, if you think trash is good. And things that you don't like. I don't know, whatever. And things that are, remarkable, like Donald Trump. A very good substance. Something people are talking about. You throw it in the fire as an offering to the Avalokiteshvara. And then as you offer, remember I said this morning, you can keep one ignorance of thinking that there is an enlightenment. Just like that tradition, you can beseech for blessing. And I would say you should beseech for the blessing to remain in the present, to be compassionate, to be loving, to be harmonious. Beseech for the blessings so that the surrounding will be peaceful, the world will be peaceful, people will understand the non-duality, so on and so forth. And then also beseech for common blessings such as longevity, such as, dispelling inner, outer, secret obstacles if you have any, problems, health problems, if you have family problems, yes, everything you burn as an offering. Problems also as offering. Everything can be offering. And then, if you want to elaborate, the red light circles, animates, becomes bigger and bigger and bigger and dissolves into you. At the end of the puja, the front deity, Avalokiteshvara, dissolves into you, and you and the deity become inseparable. And stay in that state for some time. I will give you guided instructions that time. We begin with a good motivation of doing this. Everything, all the tantric ritual practice, everything we begin with a right attitude. The right attitude is we do it for the benefit of sentient beings. So that's it. That's maybe you should put something warm. No?
यावत् केचिदश दिशि लोके सर्वत्रियध्वगता नरसिंह तानहु वन्दमि सर्वे अशेषा कायतु वाचमनेन प्रसन्न क्षेत्ररजोपमकाय प्रमाणे सर्वजनान् करोमि प्रणामम् सर्वजनाभिमुखेन मनेन भाद्रचरे प्रणिधानबलेन एकरजाग्रिरजोपमबोद्धा बुद्धसुतान् निषण्णकुमथि एवमशेषत धर्मतधातु सर्वधिमुच्यमि पूर्णजिनेभिः तेषु चाक्षयवर्णसमुद्रा सर्वस्वरागसमुद्रऋतेभिः सर्वजनान् गुणान् भणमान् तान् सुगतांस्तवमि अहो सर्व पुष्पवरेभिः च माल्यवरेभिः वाद्यविलेपनछात्रवरेभिः दीपवरेभिः च धूपवरेभिः पूजनतेषु जिनान् करोमि वस्त्रवरेभिः च गन्धवरेभिः चूर्णपुटेभिः च मेरुसमेभिः सर्वविशिष्टविरूहवरेभिः पूजनतेषु जिनान् करोमि या च अनुत्तरपूजोदारा तानधिमुच्यमि सर्वजिनानां पादचर्यधिमुक्तिबलेन वन्दमि पूजयामि जिन सर्वा यच्च कृतं मयि पापभवेय रागतु द्वेषतु मोहवशेन कायतु वाचमनेन तथैव तं प्रतिदेशयामि अहो सर्वं यच्च दशादिशि पुण्यजगस्य शैक्ष अशैक्ष प्रत्येकजनानां बुद्धसुतानथ सर्वजनानां तं अनुमोदयामि अहो सर्वं ये च दशादिशि लोकप्रदीपा बोधिविबुद्ध असङ्गतप्राप्ता तानहु सर्वे अधीशनिनाथा चक्रानुत्तरवर्तनदाय येऽपि च निर्वृतिकर्षितुकामा तानभियाचमि प्राञ्जलिभूता क्षेत्ररजोपमकल्पस्थिहेतुं सर्वजगस्य हिताय सुखाय वन्दनपूजनदेशनताय मोदनधीषणयाचनताय यच्च शुभं मयि सञ्चितो किञ्चित् बोधयिनामयमि अहो सर्वं बोधयिनामयमि अहो सर्वं बोधयिनामयमि अहो सर्वम्
going to be a short guided meditation. But I can't stop. I can't help myself. I have to talk a little bit. We have been talking about present moment. This is taught in many, many ways. And we talked about retreat, remember, between the past and the future, being present and never going to the present, to the past or to the future. This present moment is sometimes referred in the Mahayana and a little bit of Tantric Buddhism. Is also called Bardo. If I loosely translate the word Bardo, it means in between, gap. So I'm using this guided meditation. And some of you may not know what I'm talking about. It's fine. Just do what we have been doing this morning. But if you can just follow my instructions, it may be interesting for you, some of you. But anyway, this comes from Dzongsar Jamyang, which is a very important text in the Tantrian. So this, based on that, I'm going to talk. In Buddhism, everything happens between a gap. But this is all a relative teaching, by the way. There's no present past, there's no future, so therefore there's no gap actually. But remember, you don't know this profound reality. And we have to use tools. So one of the tools is language and metaphors. And also, you and I, we use this reference of past and the future. Even though past is gone, we don't have it. Future is not yet here. We don't know. It's not material. But yet, you plan or you remember. You live with a past memory or the future, whatever plan or whatever you are assuming or imagining. Of course, we're doing it now. Everything happens in between. And this in-between thing is so important. There's so many in-between. For instance, today, what's the date? 2017, March. Right. This day, whatever happened in between the time you woke up this morning and it's still continuing, and you will be sleeping soon. So that's what is happening. So this, whatever is happening in between these two. As you slowly fall into sleep, you will then go another section of in-between. In between this waking up state until you wake up in the morning. It's called dream state, dream pattern, the dream gap. Or sleeping sometimes, because some of you may not dream. So on and so forth. It's happening within a gap. Now, this whole life, today, 12th March 2017, started from this morning when we woke up. But the whole life, as pilot, as whatever, cook, barber, conference wala, whatever, all this thing that's happened, slept, woke up, ate, eating, sleeping. All this happened at the time you were born. And yes, I wish you live long until you die. That is the whole one big gap, one big present. Okay? Then, when you die, you go into another gap. And this gap, called Vana, is a big subject in the Buddhadharma. And it is often used as a technique to study the present moment. When we die, so okay, anyway, first of all, death is it's a labor. Okay. But certainly there is going to be shift. Remember you use the senses, look, hear, all that. That's not going to work as it's working now. Your elements are going to fall apart. And therefore, your sense and sense consciousness are going to disintegrate. But that does not mean that you will become sort of very stupid. No, in fact, the other way. In fact, according to Tibetan Buddhism, and Dharmic Buddhism, I should say, you become much more astute and very, very, very sharp. Because at the moment, your mind only functions through these translators, so to speak. Your mind goes through the eyes. So there's already a lot of filter. After you die, as you die, no more filter. So there's a lot of direct cognition. And because of this direct cognition, you will also have fear, strange experience. White is probably a billion times more white. A small breeze you might experience as a typhoon or some sort of a desert storm or something like that. Because and then as that process goes on, gender, that all the gender, that's gone. Because that's physically related. Of course, you don't have to buy all of this now. This is, as such. If you can't accept that, that's fine. But probably might as well hear this. What in case it is true? Then you can at least refer to this. So, gender means nothing. Nationality means nothing. You will have less and less and less reference. And less reference you have actually means good, because you are becoming more and more and more naked, becoming so pure. And this is something you can try to grab hold. And if you can grab hold of this, again, it's a liberation. So based on that, I'm sorry for those who are totally new, you may find it a little bit sort of unacceptable. I don't know. Anyway, let's try. So this one, try to sit comfortably. But breathing now. And I shall call you all children of the noble family. I'm going to read this text. We call you children of the noble family because, as we spoke many times today, you are by nature Buddha. You are by nature noble. Relax. And the prayer, the instruction that I'm reading is composed by one of the most respected Dakini or Yogini of Tibet. Oh, children of the noble family, you have always been done and soon all the elements are going to decay, disintegrate, and stop functioning. And therefore, all the sense will also begin to dim, disintegrate, and not function. Probably you will be feeling cold. This is because the fire element is beginning to disintegrate. Now you are beginning to feel no gravity. This is because the earth element is dissolving. And you might feel dry outside and inside. And this is because the water element is dissolving. And now you might experience falling from a cliff. This is because air elements are dissolving. And now you will not remember or make out gender, names, language, friends, familiarities, food, at this point, you may see everything so bright, sharp, big, small, wide, empty, chaotic, all kinds of experiences in one go. This is because you are beginning to lose your references. Oh, children of the Buddha, children of the noble family, do not be afraid. Do not lose your concentration. Be calm. Because you are getting closer to your true nature. Whatever you see, whatever you experience, always remember it is your projection. Your projections are going to be endless. You have to be calm. You will see a lot of mist, or you might see a lot of crowds. Crowds of human or strangers. You may have urge to go in and participate in these crowds. Be calm. This is your projection. You may experience abyss, cliff. You might hear billions of thunder in one go at one time. This is again your projection. Always remember, this is your mind projecting. Do not hope, do not fear. If you are afraid, just watch the fear. You may see a lot of rainbow. Lot of circles of light. This is again my projection. You are in the state of the gap between death and the next life. It remember to be calm, to be present. Make use of this precious opportunity to learn the power of your mind. Again, do not be afraid. If you are longing for a shelter, just watch that longing. If you are longing for a friend, company, just watch that longing. You may hear thunderstorms. You may experience darkness. You may experience constant fear of being lost. But remember, you are not lost. Just be in the present. There is no reference. There is no target. There is no end line. Here and now is the most important. You may hear loved ones crying, sound. You may imagine smelling your house, your dwelling, your food. Again, remember, this is projection. Okay, so this is just a brief exercise on the retreat. Using the technique of retreat to take advantage of the gap. And briefly, since we are going to sleep now, I guess, we're going to go to bed. Very briefly, there are two things you can do. One, sleep, have the motivation to, in case you dream, have the motivation to know that you are dreaming while you are dreaming. This is one exercise. If you can manage to do that, very, very good. Just imagine, you are falling from a building while you are dreaming, okay? And in the middle of the 50th floor, you suddenly realize this is a dream. Then you will fly, and you might want to sort of, have a tour. Because it's a dream anyway. You won't hurt yourself. But this is probably a little difficult. Because most of it, I guess, some of you are not that familiar with this technique. But anyway, I just said this. The other one, probably this is something that you should do, and do it when you go to sleep tonight. Please think, okay, I'm waking up. This is it, I'm waking up. And then sleep, and actually sleep. You should think, I'm waking up, waking up, waking up. And if you can remember tomorrow morning, when the alarm rings, if you have, okay, now I'm going to sleep. And then this is all a dream. I'm dreaming. I'm in Dehradun. This is not really happening. This is my dream. Can you try to reverse that if you want? Just sharing a glimpse of what we call dream yoga. So, we talked, there's an exercise called those six yogas of being in the retreat, being in the present, since this is a retreat center. Right? We talked quite lengthily today, being in the present, which is the most important, which is actually the base. Being in the present during the normal time. Only we talked about the death, and we talked briefly the dream yoga. And the other yogas, probably you have to. This is all a little bit of introduction to, even the one we talked this morning, the whole day. Those who are wishing to be really more serious and what you want to dedicate your life, then yes, you should have serious kind of following, so to speak. And I guess more information you will receive, because many of you are quite new. I can't also tell you all the information for your own sake. What's the worst thing is information. The moment, the fact that you know something called Wednesday, now I can't tell you, okay, forget there ever is a Wednesday. You cannot. Because you already know, unfortunately, there is something called Wednesday. Now you can't forget. So likewise, I should shut my mouth up. I should not put too much information. That way you are pure and clean, so that you will find love. You will experience. It's better, I said, there's something on the top of the mountain, a really good thing. And then you walk and discover on the way, cows and goats and all kinds of things. If I say there's a golden flower on the top of the mountain, all you will think is that golden mountain, and you will miss the cows and goats. And that would be unfortunate. That's it. Shall we go to sleep? Or do whatever you want to do? Okay. Yes. Shall we go to wake up?